Hello, welcome to Health Bites. Today we're going to be talking about cancer. The word strikes fear in the hearts of most Americans. Cancer is currently the number 2 killer of Americans, and it refers to just more than 100 diseases which have in common the uncontrolled reproduction of abnormal cells. You know, every minute, millions of cells divide in our bodies, and we have complex internal control mechanisms that ensure that each one of these cell divisions occur in just the right way and at just the right time. But occasionally, something goes wrong. Presently, the risk of an American man developing cancer over his lifetime is 1 in 2. And 1 in 3 women in the U.S. will develop cancer over her lifetime. Wow, these are some sobering statistics. And it is estimated that in the U.S., 1/3 of all cancer deaths might be caused just by diet. And diet and smoking are the 2 major contributors to cancer risk. Well, these statistics sure give a whole new meaning to the words smoke and go. When we compare the death rates of other major chronic diseases, we see that the death rates of these diseases have gone down significantly. And I'm talking about things like heart disease and cerebrovascular diseases. But when we look at the death rates for cancer, they really have not gone down very much. But there is good news, and the good news is that cancer is mostly a preventable disease. So we can take control of this. You know, the foods we eat and the foods we choose each day play a major part in cancer prevention. 30 to 40% of all cancers are directly linked to 3 things: the foods we eat, the exercise we get, and how well we watch our weight. And another 30% of all cancers can be prevented by just not using tobacco. The chart that you'll see here shows that the tobacco use in the U.S. from the years 1900 to 2004, so basically all of last century. And you see that around the peak of cigarette consumption, that was in the year 1964, the first Surgeon General report on tobacco and health came out. And this initiated a decline of per capita cigarette smoking in the United States. And you can see that the male and female lung cancer death rates follow the pattern of cigarette consumption. So tobacco is the number 1 carcinogen, and it's linked to all of the types of cancers that you'll see in your graphic. We have, you can have lung cancer, cancer of the lip, the mouth, the pharynx, and the esophagus, cancer of the stomach, liver cancer, pancreas cancer, bladder cancer, and so on and so forth. So tobacco, it is the number 1 carcinogen. But what I like to do right now is I like to focus on guidelines for prevention of cancer. The American Institute for Cancer Research has published an expert report which involves thousands of studies and hundreds of experts from around the world. So these are the guidelines they came up with. Guideline number 1, be as lean as possible without becoming underweight. So maintaining a healthy weight is one of the most important things you can do to reduce your risk for cancer. And where we store our extra weight also has a significant risk for cancer. If we store our extra weight around our waist, that increases our risk for cancer and other diseases significantly. Guideline number 2 is to be physically active for at least 30 minutes every day. So physical activity in any form helps to lower your cancer risk. And for maximum health benefits, scientists recommend that we aim for 60 minutes or more of moderate activity every day, or 30 minutes or more of vigorous activity. So moderate activity is anything that gets your heart beating a bit faster and it makes you breathe more deeply, such as brisk walking. Vigorous activity means raising your heart rate so that we warm up and we start to sweat and we feel out of breath. Guideline number 3 is to avoid sugary drinks and limit consumption of energy-dense foods. So they found that regularly consuming sugary drinks and these types of foods, they contribute to weight gain, and that's going to increase your risk for cancer. Of course, the best alternative to drink is water. That is the best for your body. Guideline number 4 is to eat more of a variety of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes such as beans. So basing our diets on plant foods can reduce our risk of cancer significantly. And this is because the fiber, minerals, phytochemicals, and vitamins that are found in plant foods, they interact to provide extra cancer protection. And this concept is called synergy. So basically, it's the sum of all these nutrients working together that help to lower our cancer risk. So it's not just one food or one nutrient, but the sum of all of them working together. So here is a list of specific foods that contain high amounts of cancer-fighting nutrients. We have things such as beans and berries, cruciferous vegetables such as cabbage, and dark green leafy vegetables, flaxseed, garlic, grapes and grape juice, soy, tomatoes, and whole grains. Well, the guideline that follows, number 5, is to limit consumption of red meats such as beef, pork, and lamb, and to avoid processed meats. So they say that if you eat meat, you should eat no more than 3 ounces of meat. And you know what 3 ounces look like? It looks like the palm of your hand. But better yet, if you avoid meat, it will reduce your risk of cancer significantly. Also, research shows that when we talk about processed meats, such as ham, bacon, salami, hot dogs, and sausages, the cancer risk with these meats starts to increase with any portion. So, and this is because when meat is preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or by addition of preservatives, cancer-causing substances can be formed. Now, there is a carcinogen in charcoal broiled meat called benzylpyrene, and a 2-pound piece of charcoal broiled meat or steak can have as much of this carcinogen as 600 cigarettes. Wow! Well, all the evidence points to a low-fat, high-fiber, plant-based diet that includes a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans as being the best diet for cancer prevention. Not surprisingly, vegetarians whose diet easily meet these requirements are at the lowest risk for cancer. Vegetarians have about half the cancer risk of meat eaters. Guideline number 6 is to avoid alcohol. And for cancer prevention, the American Institute for Cancer Research recommends not to drink alcohol at all. However, they do say, if consumed at all, limit alcoholic drinks to 2 for men and 1 for women a day. But I submit to you that total avoidance is best. Research shows that alcohol is particularly harmful when combined with smoking, and it is related to a number of different cancers, including cancers of the esophagus, the mouth, the larynx, and liver cancer. Guideline number 7 is to limit consumption of salty foods and foods processed with salt or sodium. So these foods probably increase the chance of developing stomach cancer by damaging the lining of the stomach. Guideline number 8 is don't use supplements to protect against cancer. So there is strong evidence that high-dose supplements of some nutrients can affect the risk of different types of cancers. So the best source of nutrition, nourishment, is food and drink, not dietary supplements. Now, there are some situations where dietary supplements may be beneficial, but not when we're talking about cancer prevention. There are some prevention guidelines for special population They recommend that it is best for mothers to breastfeed exclusively for up to 6 months and then add other liquids and foods. So evidence shows that breastfeeding can help protect mothers against breast cancer, and it helps protect babies from becoming overweight. And we know that overweight babies tend to become overweight adults, and that will increase the risk for cancer. Also, after treatment, cancer survivors should follow the recommendation for cancer prevention that we have discussed here. And always, always remember, do not smoke or use tobacco. So all of these recommendations are so simple. If we only would apply them to our lives, chances are great that we will prevent cancer. But if it is true that cancer is mostly a preventable disease, why is it still the #2 killer of Americans? Well, the answer is very simple. You see, other than the decline in smoking, people are not doing anything about it. This graph shows that there has been very little improvement in the consumption of fruits and vegetables since the 1990s. So less than 1 in 4 adults is eating the recommended servings of fruits and vegetables. And similar to trends in nutrition, there has been little change in physical activity. In fact, it's probably gone a little down. So in simple form, let's summarize these recommendations we have seen today, and they fall into 3 categories. Number 1, choose mostly plant foods. Limit or avoid meats and avoid processed meats especially. Number 2, be physically active every day in any way for at least 30 minutes. And number 3, aim to be at a healthy weight throughout your life. And always, always remember, do not smoke or chew tobacco. Now you know how to take control of your lifestyle to prevent cancer. Yes, friends, all through the Bible, God makes it clear that He wants us to enjoy good health, and He has created us with mechanisms that protect us from disease. But you know, we can strengthen or weaken those mechanisms by our lifestyle. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 3:5-8, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Until next time, may you live longer, happier, and healthier the way your Creator intended it.